Hello, and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for Fantasy Premier League content for the 2024-25 season. My name is Dan. How's everyone doing? It's deadline day, a late deadline. Oh, I love late deadlines, man. It means I get to chill out in the morning, play a little bit of FIFA, get ready for the day, nice cup of tea, and then we can hop in and talk about FPL. A little bit of research this morning as well. Feeling good. Send your red card says 10:30 p.m. for me, Dan. You know, I'd have to appreciate it's not always nice to have a late deadline if you're not in the UK, but I don't mind it. Mark is also here. Hey, mate, how you doing? I'm doing well, Mark. I'm doing well. Hope you are doing well as well. Of course, if there's any other members in the chat, make yourself known so I can say a very good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. But hopefully you guys are doing well. Lots to cover today. I'm hoping, because we have got so many 3 o'clock kickoffs. In fact, we've got how many? 5 3 p.m. kickoffs, all at the same time. So we're going to get team news for 5 teams in 2 hours and 13 minutes. But because there are so many fixtures, I think there's a good chance we get some early team news today as well. So, yeah, I hope we do get something. Might be interesting. It would be nice to get some verification on Liverpool, for example. I know a lot of you guys have bought in Cody Gakpo this week, so it'd be good to know if he's going to be starting or not. And all other teams, I don't know what other rotation risk players that people are owning in their FPL teams. I think Cody Gakpo owners can be pretty confident regardless, to be fair. CFC Ethan, thank you for becoming a member once again to the channel. I appreciate that, my friend. I do appreciate that. Any out there predictions for the week, says Wello. Out there predictions of the week. Would it be out there to say that I think Bournemouth might beat Forest? Would that be out there? It might be. I think that's probably the biggest. I think Bournemouth assets might be in a bit of trouble. You mean, you've still got to back them, haven't you? Because they've been in such brilliant form, but I don't know. I feel like Bournemouth can get something out of this game, playing at home as well. Outside of that, out there predictions, I don't know. Jackson to finally score against Man City when everyone sold him. That would just be a true FPL moment, because everyone sold Jackson now. So that's probably his time to say, yeah, I think I'll start scoring some goals now that everyone's sold me. That could happen. I can see it happening. But there we go. Right, we've got loads of questions in the chat. We're also going to do bench list today, of course, guys. Don't worry about that. We'll have you covered with your bench dilemmas on the bench list. Siddhartha has put in the chat Kirkes or Aina. I guess that relates to the Nottingham Forest Bournemouth thing I was just talking about. I don't know, man. It can go either way, but I think I would probably back the home team on this one, Kirkes. Both teams are in form. It's one of those difficult ones where it has the potential to go wrong, doesn't it? But I think if it was me, choosing for my own team, I'd probably go Kirkes. But I am a Kirkes owner, so maybe I'm biased. But also, I have Kirkes in my squad. I'm not starting him. Let me show you what my team is looking like right now. Come on. So, yeah, by the way, guys, I don't know if anyone else is getting this, but does the bench look different for you guys as well? Why does my bench look so narrow? Everyone's so close together. It's like they're all best friends hanging out on the bench. Best mates, you could say. Is that just me? Has there been a widespread update to the FPL website? Because I don't know why they're so tight. Carly says, yes, changed for me too. Makes sense. All right, maybe not me. Ali says to fit in the assistant manager. That makes sense. That does make sense. Okay, fair enough. Okay. That's fair enough. Where do we think the assistant manager is going to go? Do you think it's going to go like in the bottom right-hand corner or something like that when we activate it? course, next week is the first week we can activate it. So maybe maybe some people will post some screenshots and we'll find out, won't we? Which is interesting. Yeah, it's changed for everyone. Fair, fair. UK Aki says Savinho or Nwaneri. Neither. I'm going to say neither on that one. I can't see Nwaneri starting. And I also, I mean, I don't know if you guys watched my video yesterday. Not many people did, to be fair, so no judgment. Yeah, that's the when you start a new series, particularly halfway through a season, yeah, it can take a little while for them to get off the ground. But can I maybe show it on screen? Let's unlock you. That's not very good. Let's see here if I can put this on screen for you guys. Maybe make it a bit bigger. It should fit if we do things correctly. So I did do some predicted lineups in yesterday's video. I appreciate it's a bit late to be watching yesterday's video now, so I'm happy to just show you guys on screen what I did. Just want to make sure it looks pretty, because that is what this YouTube channel seems to be all about, making sure everything looks nice and pretty. Right, that'll do. You get the gist. Oh, it's annoying me. You can't quite see the fixture there, can you? Okay, there we go. Right, yeah, so in my predicted lineups, if I go to Manchester City, here we go. I did actually put Grealish down as starting, so I don't think... If I had to guess, I would say Savinho will be benched and Grealish will start, and that's mostly based on the fixture and City trying to get more control over this fixture. So definitely Savinho could start there, but if I had to take a guess, it would be Grealish. So I don't think I would be buying Savinho at this point, and I would be a little bit worried as well about owning Savinho. If I had him already, I would consider selling him if there was a nice option out there for you. And maybe that's, you know, someone like Mbermo, I'd probably go for someone like that. Aren't Wolves at home? Yes, they are. I mean, I can fix that now. Maybe a bit late for that, but still, there you go. So yeah, obviously there's not going to be time for you guys to check out that video. So if there's any lineups you guys want to see as well, we can show that in this video. We can do anything you guys want to. New signings to play for City. I think there's actually a chance that a new signing may be thrown in the deep end this week in that Stones position. Stones is technically available, but he hasn't had any minutes, so it's going to be difficult for him to start a game. So I do wonder if one of the new centre-backs, can't remember what their names, one's called Reece Rice, and the other one is called something Uzbekistani. Is he Uzbekistani? Something like that, which is crazy. Has there ever been an Uzbekistani player in the Premier League? Kusanov. Mark says, as a City fan, I reckon Kusanov starts. Is he from Uzbekistan? Can you confirm that for me, Mark? CFC Ethan says, just sold Foden and Raya for Kulu and Alisson, currently ranked 20k in the world right now. Congratulations, Ethan. That's a really good rank, man. Yeah, interesting choices. I don't know if I would sell Foden ahead of this fixture against Chelsea at home, given that Foden is in such good form and Chelsea are a little bit off it right now. So I don't know if I love that, but hey, you're ranked 20k in the world. You know what you're doing, man. You know what you're doing. Which also gives me confidence because I brought in Alisson this week. The big question, Isak or Salah captain? I mean, we could do a poll, but I have a feeling it's going to be pretty much a landslide. So let's see. Who is your Gameweek 23 captain? Is there even a third option this week, or is it a straight up decision between Salah and Isak? I think it's a straight up decision People in the chat confirming that Kusanov is from Uzbekistan. The next question is, I wonder if anyone can find this out. Has an Uzbekistani professional football player ever played in the Premier League? I would love to know. Or is this the first one? Have any games been called off? Not at this moment. I don't think they are going to get called off. I'm in the south of the UK, and today I'm looking out the window. It's nice, calm, sunny day. I've already been outside today. It's not stormy or anything like that. But I don't know if I could say the same about the north. But I think the storms are not getting here until maybe tomorrow or the next day. And I think most of the important FPL games are played today. He is the first Uzbek in the Premier League. Well, there we have it. Another country to add to the list of different nationalities in the Premier League. I wonder, guys, is there anyone in the chat, and maybe like only one, is there anyone in the chat who's from a country where only like one significant player has ever played in the Premier League from your country? Do you have any like Premier League heroes in your country because they were so unique in playing in the Premier League? I'd love to know. Jasneet says, hi Dan, did you watch the Traitors final? Hell yeah, I did. What a ride. What a ride. Although, like, to be fair, it kind of felt kind of obvious how the game was going to play out even before the episode started. But I won't put any spoilers. But let's have a look here. Unique players in the Premier League. Australia, Tim Cahill, love it. Bosnia and Herzegovina, Dzeko. Herzegovina. Dzeko, of course, playing for Man City. Bit of a legend there. Nikal says, Stephen Pienaar for me. There's been a couple of South African players in the Premier League, though. What about Eric Jemba? Was he from... No, he was from Cameroon. Wait, was he from Cameroon or South Africa? I don't know. When I think of South African players in the Premier League, I always think Benny McCarthy. Proper Barclaysman. Slovenia, Skirtle. Finland, Jaskalainen or Hippier. Yeah, of course, Australia had Kuhl and Viduka as well. Who's the Barbados player? Lucas Radaby. Yes, that's a great shout. Lucas Radaby. Victor Wanyama, of course. Of course. Sweden has plenty. Who's like, other than Isak in current times, who's like the Swedish legend in Premier League history though? Mark says, from my country, I don't have any, sadly, from Malta. Only one player got close and actually scored. Who was the player? Who's the player from Malta? Percy Tau. Yeah, I remember him. Zlatan. Yeah, but was Zlatan like an iconic player in the Premier League? I don't think so. Henrik Larsson was an iconic player for Celtic, I think. So I don't know if we can count these for Sweden, like as the legends whilst they played in the Premier League. Miles Lewis Skelly for England. That's the one you've gone for. Oh, Frederick Lundberg. Yeah, man. Lundberg is like surely the Swedish Premier League legend. Gotta be said. Yeah. That's the best shout. I'm an Arsenal fan and I somehow forgot about Larsson, man. How? Adebayor from Togo. Hell yeah. Estienne from Ghana. Dwight York from Trinidad and Tobago. Mark Schwarzer. Are we really counting him as a Premier League legend when we consider some of the other Australian players who played in the Premier League? Quinton Fortune for Man United. Yeah, good one. Good one. Iceland, Ida Smari. Never heard of that player. Elanga could make a case. Hell yeah, man. Why not? George Best from Northern Ireland. Not Premier League, but get your point. Ji-sung Park, hell yeah, for Korea. But surely Son has now eclipsed him. Gota would be the best Bermudan. Yeah, I remember I remember Sean Gosa when he played for Man City, when Man City first got promoted to the Premier League. Showing my age a bit there. Steve McManaman. He's English. JJ Okocha from Nigeria. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, man. Mkhitaryan in Armenia. Wow, great suggestions, guys. Great suggestions. By the way, I'm sorry, we're not really speaking about FPL, are we? I think that's the good thing about going live, like so many hours before the deadline. We can have some more casual chat about football generally. Have we ever seen you without the hat on? Yeah, man, all the time. There's a bad hair day hiding underneath. That's about as far as it goes. It's about as far as it goes. Solskjaer, Norway. Come on, Haaland, man. Let's pivot back to Mido from Egypt. It's good, but come on, Salah. Got to remember Salah. Right, let's pivot back to FPL for a few minutes at least. Otherwise, people will start leaving the stream thinking, I tuned in for an FPL chat and you're talking Premier League generally. But I have to say, I can't believe people are throwing in John Carew in a conversation where Haaland plays in the Premier League. But anyway, guys, yeah, you get some. Adel Tarabt is a great shout from Morocco. Right, stop it now, guys. Stop it. No more. We need to talk about FPL. We absolutely need to talk about FPL. Right. Triple captain Mr. Beast or I don't even know who that is. Start Ahmad or Sar? I think I'd start Sar. Or would I? My issue with Sar is that if Mazraoui is out... No, sorry, my issue with Ahmad is if Mazraoui is out, then there's a good chance Ahmad plays a little bit deeper in the right wing-back position, which he still can do some damage from, but away against Fulham, I wouldn't be super confident about it. Chowdhury was from Bangladesh. He was from England, but now he's from Bangladesh, apparently. I don't think he's played a game for them yet. I only found that out this week, that Hamza Chowdhury has changed allegiance to Bangladesh, which makes him the first ever Bangladeshi Premier League player. That's why this whole topic was on my mind, by the way, because I was thinking about that fact I found out recently. No, Mazraoui. Yeah, I don't know. It's a toss-up for me. It'll either be Mazraoui right wing back and Ahmad right wing, and Bruno would go to the left, or Garnacho plays on the left, Bruno on the right, and Ahmad right wing back. I'm between those two, and it depends on the availability of Mazraoui. But what worries me about Mazraoui is he wasn't even on the bench in the Europa League. So whether that's like a planned full rest, but if he was like slightly available, I don't know. I feel like he could have been on the bench. So this is my current prediction, but I should probably put like a rotation risk on Garnacho, because I can definitely foresee a situation in which Mazraoui swaps for Garnacho and then things obviously wiggle around a little bit based on that. Cole Palmer St. Kitts. No way, man. No way. Triple captain Salah. I would, at this point, I would triple captain on a double game week only. And next week is a double game week, so I just save it for next week. And I know individually Ipswich is a better fixture, but when you think like, okay, Salah's going to get 2 points for playing in each game, so that's 4 points as a base. Clean sheet in one, you're up to 5 points. I think the biggest thing with the triple captain on a double game week, though, is 2 sets of bonus points. The potential for 2 sets of bonus points. Even if you score a hat-trick against Ipswich, you are capped at 3 bonus points. So it's like a hat-trick against Ipswich is just as good in a single game week as 1 goal against Bournemouth and 1 goal against Everton in a double game week. Like, they're the same. And that's like the best case scenario against Ipswich, right? Is benching decisions later? Yeah, man. We will get to benching decisions. Don't worry. But I don't like to go in with that one too early, because otherwise the bench list will get too full if we have it for 2 hours. Start Raul or Wood? That's a really good question. That's a really tough question. I think Wood on form, right? Borlak, good morning, my friend. Would you rather sell Bruno or Gordon in order to buy Gakpo? I wouldn't sell either, to be fair. No, I would reassess my Gakpo move if it meant selling Bruno or Gordon. Unless you can move Bruno to Mbermo. That would be the one exception. If you can move Bruno to Mbermo and that would free up enough money to buy Gakpo, then I'd maybe do that. But I think generally Bruno is going to be a solid enough pick. Do you think we'll get Liverpool team news today? I think there's a really good chance, Carter. I think there's a really good chance. Because we do often get some odd Liverpool leaks. So I will share them with you guys if we do receive them. Can you show us your FPL team this week? Yeah, no problem. There you go. So I'm going to bench Jackson, I think. But that doesn't sit well with me at all. It doesn't sit well with me, but I don't know who else to bench other than Sarr, who plays at home against Brentford. There's no way I'm benching Rodgers. Do you know, by the way, Rodgers in his last 5 games, in the last 6 game weeks, Rodgers has scored, I believe is it 5 in 5? 5 in 5 returns. Or is it 4 in 4? No, it's 4 in 4. No, it's 5 in 5. Yeah, in his last 5 starts against Arsenal, Everton, Brighton, Newcastle, Man City, he has 5 returns. And the 2 games he blanked in were Newcastle away and Arsenal away, which you cannot be surprised about that at all. So genuinely, West Ham at home next. Didn't he already score against West Ham? Like Aston Villa, West Ham, FA Cup. Did he score in this game? Yeah, he did. He already scored against them literally 2 weeks ago. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know. He's already done it. Can he do it again? I think he might be able to. So yeah, I think I gotta play Rodgers this week. And anyone who's got Rodgers, I would seriously consider playing him. T-Ron says, sorry again, quick off topic. Latvia. Marians Pahars. Vaguely remember that name. I do remember Igor Stepanovs, though, for Arsenal. I don't know if he's an Arsenal legend, but yeah. Dylan with the super chat says, bench one out of Rodgers, Mateta, Wissa, and Raul. I think I've benched Raul Jimenez. Oh, yeah, I think I've benched Raul. Maybe Wissa, but probably not. Let's say Raul. And Freddie says, play Sarr over Rodgers. Nah, I play Rodgers over Sarr this week. I really would. Sarr's numbers are down a little bit, which is disappointing. Barely did anything against West Ham. Obviously got the assist against Leicester, which was nice. But obviously, I don't know, maybe a little unfortunate against Southampton, but nothing against Chelsea, really. Nothing against Bournemouth. Although he did get it was super close to scoring against Southampton. Didn't he get a goal disallowed against Bournemouth as well? Or was that against Chelsea? Can't remember now. He had a goal disallowed against one of these teams. And it was one of Bournemouth or Chelsea. I can't remember now. So yeah, I don't know. It's super tough. But West Ham was not great viewing for him. It wasn't great viewing, which does cast some doubt in my mind. Jackson's numbers are down as well, by the way, incidentally. Well, were against Wolves. He did miss that chance at the end of the game, but I don't know if it was a huge chance. Gordon to Mbermo this week. No way, man. Gordon plays Southampton. Why would anyone sell Gordon? You're the second person today that I've read out in the chat. I'm sure there's other people asking as well about selling Gordon. Come on, man. He blanked once in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's blanked once in the last 7 game weeks and is about to face the worst team possibly in Premier League history. There is not a chance I would sell Gordon. He's like, honestly, I think he's one of the most essential players for this specific game week. Obviously, if you don't have him, then I don't know if I'd push to buy him. Because the fixtures do start to get a little bit worse for Newcastle. Plus, pretty likely blank in game week 29. So Fulham at home is fine. Man City away, I don't think is great. Forest, Liverpool, obviously not good. West Ham's all right there. But Crystal Palace, I don't know. Should I play Henderson or Sells? It's tight. Maybe Henderson though. Jackson to Wood or Wissa for now and future fixtures. Oh, if I was buying one of Wood or Wissa right now, I would buy Wissa. Yeah, for sure. Isak captain, 1.6 million and chasing rank. If you're chasing and you really are genuinely happy to take a risk, then yeah, I would consider it. Sells to buy Alisson? No, not in my opinion. I think Sells is the one goalkeeper who I would just really not sell for Alisson. I'm captaining Isak. Am I going to regret it? You might, Carter. You might regret it. I guess we'll find out this afternoon. Start one, Wood, Raul or Ahmad. Wood. Should I sell Mateta for Gakpo? I don't think I would do it, no. Yeah, I think if you're... Mateta I would not sell for Gakpo. Isak I wouldn't sell for Gakpo. Wood I would consider selling for Gakpo, but I would not be comfortable with it at all. Everyone else I think is fine to sell for Gakpo, but there's certain players who I think you just don't sell, and I think Mateta is one of those guys at this present moment. I mean, he's got a fine fixture. If you want to change your mind next week and bring in Gakpo next week instead, I think that's fine. You don't have to get Gakpo this week. And Crystal Palace fixtures, there's still pretty decent fixtures in here, but Man United, Everton, Fulham, Aston Villa after Brentford. Now, these are not like amazing fixtures. They're decent, but they're not amazing. So like, there's definitely potential to sell Mateta after this week, but I don't know. Everyone's very desperate to get Gakpo in this week, and I completely get it. But it's not going to be the move for everyone, I don't think. So yeah, I can see more people in the chat saying, what about Wood? We just mentioned Wood for Gakpo. I don't think I would do it personally, but I understand it a little bit more than selling Mateta. Wood and Mateta will play more minutes than Gakpo. Well, technically no, because Gakpo has more potential minutes to play because of the double game week. Is that Ribena, mate? Nah. Don't really like Ribena. I love blackcurrant squash, but I just don't really like Ribena. So this is just the cheap stuff. Don't worry, I've not let YouTube change me. I'm still drinking nice cheap squash. Pedro to Wissa or Verbruggen to Alisson. I like both. World number 1 bought in Gakpo, if that helps anyone. World number 2 bought... last week's world number 1, should I say, bought in Gakpo last week as well. So the players at the top of the table are Captain Gakpo. Oh, Captain Gakpo? Buying Gakpo. But they also have to play it safe. If you are top of the table, you pretty much do the same transfers that everyone else is doing to try and maintain rank. There's no point taking silly risks when you're first in the world. So I don't think just because the top current players, should I say, because we're only just past the halfway point in the season. And when you count all the chips and stuff like that, really, we've got a lot of season to come. Yeah, then it might not be the right move for you. But I think it's a good safe move if you are trying to maintain rank. Moving to Gakpo is the smart play for sure. But as I have mentioned before, I like Gakpo, but I think I like Alisson a little bit more, particularly from a strategic point of view. And I think, I mean, you got to know your strengths and weaknesses in the world of FPL, and I sure do have some weaknesses. There's no doubt about that. But I think one of my strengths is definitely chip planning and long-term strategy, which sometimes works as a deficit to me, but I hope to see some rank gains during blank and double game weeks, and it's through making moves like this that will happen. Nicole says, hi Dan, 56 points in Gameweek 22. Very good score. Got 0.8 in the bank. Is this plan okay? Wood to Gakpo now. Playing catch-up in my league. In Gameweek 24, Robinson to Mikolenko or Sartor and Burnley. I don't know if I'd bother with an Everton defender, to be fair. You can if you want to. But yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's a fine plan, Nicole. It's absolutely fine. Do you know the FA Cup is in Game Week 37 this year? Yes, it's on the Is it on the Wednesday? But yeah. Haroon says, bench one of these 5 midfielders this week. Rodgers versus West Ham, Palmer versus City, Salah versus... Come on, man. Salah versus Ipswich. Why have you... Gordon versus South... I'm going to lose my mind, I swear. Haroon, I really, really do appreciate the super chat, my friend. But how on earth has Salah versus Ipswich come into the benching conversation? That is like... This is a first time for everything, I suppose, in the world of FPL, but... I think I would probably bench Rodgers or Kulusevski. It would be one of those two. I'm gonna say bench Rodgers though, but like, honestly, I'm not happy with that. You've got to have one of your 3 forwards who you could bench. Like, I would play Rodgers ahead of Wissa, or I would play him ahead of Wood. I'd play him ahead of Jackson. I would play Rodgers ahead of, who else? Joao Pedro, Raul Jimenez. A lot of the popular forwards people have, I would play Rodgers ahead of them. And we'll discuss that when we do the bench list. We're going to do the bench list in about 20 minutes time. So, yeah, mad. Daniel Richards says, am I mad for benching Palmer? Yes, you are. You are. City are not that good these days. They've just shipped 4 goals to PSG in the Champions League. You would be crazy to bench Palmer. You really would. You'd be pretty loopy. Wello says, I feel Wood can score against anyone in the league, so I find it hard to bench him. Oh, I definitely understand that, but I would still play Rodgers ahead of him. +2 Cuba says, City fan, Palmer is 100% scoring today. Yeah. Then why do you bench Jackson? Because he is out of form. There's no doubt about it, he is out of form. And I don't believe the same can be said about Palmer. And by the way, I'm not comfortable benching Jackson. I'm not comfortable with that at all. Roy says, I've bought and captained Marmoush. There's no way Marmoush is starting. I'm sorry to piss on that particular parade. Is that a swear word? I don't know, on the edge. But there's no way it takes Pep Guardiola so long to integrate his players into his team. And Marmoush was signed officially, 2 days ago? Probably had 1 training session at a push. Probably doing all the media stuff as well. I can't see Marmoush starting. So I find that a bit wacky. But people get excited about new signings. People get excited about big new signings and they want to bring them into the FPL team. And if you're having fun, who am I to criticise? The only people having fun, the only people truly winning FPL are those having fun because it's a game. So actually, if you're bringing in Marmoush and and that's something that's fun and entertaining, then you're probably beating me in that regard. Connor Calvi says, start Robinson or Sarr. I would start Rodgers. Start Gabriel or Robinson. I would start Gabriel. Pretty straightforward. Interestingly, on Gabriel, Wolves have conceded the most amount of goals from set pieces this season. They conceded the most amount of goals to centre-backs this season as well. So, Gabriel is actually a really nice pick this week. Favourable fixture and against a team weak against set pieces. I certainly can see Gabriel on the score sheet. Could be an assist, could be a goal, but I can see it. So I don't think I would bench Gabriel, and I think that will be reflected on the bench list as well. Paredes says, Marmoush, X minutes, to your opinion, is it versus Haaland? He's a real versatile player. I think he is partially there to cover Haaland for sure. But he can also play on the wing. Maybe on the left wing if Foden's playing on the right. But with Savinho there and Grealish, I don't think his expected minutes are low this week. I would be surprised to even see him get on the pitch this game week. If I had to guess how many minutes, someone said you have to guess exactly how many minutes will Marmoush play in game week 23. I would say 0 minutes. I think that's far more likely than him starting is him playing 0 minutes. Jersey D says, I drank too much rum and put Marmoush in last night. Well, I hope you enjoyed the rum, though. Sounds like you had a good night, regardless. And like I say, it's a fun move, but it's not optimal. Guys, where's my glasses? Actually, guys, I don't think buying Marmoush is optimal. I don't think it's an optimal decision. So, if you want to play FPL in an optimal fashion, then actually you should probably not buy Marmoush. There you go. Dylan says, Dan is still talking about the FA Cup. I mean, yeah, Game Week 37 is not a scheduled double game week anyway, and it's midweek, so it shouldn't impact blank or double game weeks very much at all. The only thing is kind of maybe there as a reserve double game week if, you know, we get a random fixture cancellation, you know, if there's some weather issues or something like that, then I guess Game Week 37 could serve as a backup if games are randomly postponed. But randomly postponed games don't happen very often, so I can't see that impacting things very much. But I will add it to my graphic. Don't you worry. We're going to do a big update, actually, on chip strategy very, very soon. Because everything is going to become much clearer before the Game Week 25 deadline of how we should be lining up our chip strategy. In fact, I would hope that most people have a good idea of what their full chip strategy is going to be by Game Week 25 deadline, maybe Game Week 26 deadline, just to give you a little bit more time to think about it. But yeah, everything's going to start to fall into place. Big time. Peter Parker says, I'm short 0.6 million. Should I drop Bruno to a Mad to get Allison on a bench boost? I wouldn't bench boost this week. Or should I drop Bruno to Mbermo? I don't mind dropping Bruno to Mbermo if you want to. It's a luxury move, though. But yeah, no, I would not be playing the bench boost this week. Not on a single game week. We've still got 2 double game weeks to come. 3 if you count the Liverpool one. Dan, do you plan on wildcarding in game week 30? I don't. I'm open to the idea, but I don't plan on it. No, I'm hoping. In fact, let's get up my blanks and doubles calendar. And you know what? Who's the chap in the chat who was concerned about my graphic and it not having the FA Cup final in it? We'll throw a little FA Cup icon. How are we going to do that? Oh, I don't know if I can. Without splitting the cell. I've got an idea. let's do that. We'll make you grey, I guess. Oh no, one more shade of grey. One more shade of grey. How can I indicate that it's the final though? Oh, I'm gonna need to make some more graphics, but there we go. Anyway, that is my fixture calendar, and I'm hoping to play my wildcard in game week 35. So I'm like fully prepared for like the ultimate game week 36 bench boost. Like a crazy good bench boost, which could be nice. And that does depend on my team just being good and surviving up until then and not having major issues. Right now, looking at my squad, I think I'm happy with the way my squad is set up generally, because I think even if something was to go wrong, I have got a really strong bench. Really strong bench. Fabianski playing goalkeeper. I've got seven good attackers. So 8 good, well, depending if you count Jackson. I think I'm going to move Jackson to Wissa soon. So it will be 8 good attackers. Kirkes and Castagna are very nice backup defenders to have as well. So I'm happy with my squad. Certain the structure. I'll be rolling this week, so I'll have 2 free transfers next week. I don't think I need to... I don't think I need to worry about having to wildcard too soon, is my thought process. Is it possible to download your schedule somewhere? You know what? I thought about like making all of, because I do make a lot of planning graphics. I wonder if like if I was to set up a Patreon or something like that, maybe that could be one of them, or like YouTube memberships. Maybe that could be one of the membership benefits where you can download all of my spreadsheets, because I do have a lot of them that I make. And it's a shame for them to be wasted. I have been thinking about it. Because like I have said before, like I think everyone has a Patreon. Everyone has like some kind of member service or you know, that kind of thing. Everyone does it. I've never done it. Well, I say I've never done it. I did it for like a few weeks 5 years ago and then decided to close it down because I wasn't really comfortable charging people for FPL advice. But if I could give tangible benefits like spreadsheets, which are objective, that's not advice, that is objective stuff. You know, I could maybe have members can come into my FPL 100 FPL experts Discord server and chat with my experts week to week. We could maybe do member streams and rate my teams and stuff as well. But again, that's kind of touching on like charging for advice, which is something I've never wanted to do. So it's I think that's a possibility for next season. Depends how depends how poor I am, I suppose. Although I've got it's tax week, so could be pretty poor before too long. Dan, in your opinion, at 1 million rank, would you captain Isak or play it safe with Salah? I think I would still go for Salah at 1 million rank. There's still plenty of time to catch up, particularly if you have a strong chip strategy. But I would certainly be tempted by Isak. If I was ranked to like 2 million, I would captain Isak though. As long as you aren't hiding information from those that aren't patrons. No. And there would be none of that. I would still be showing all of my graphics in videos and in streams and, you know, all my spreadsheets and stuff. I'll still show them. But, like, if you wanted to download them or, you know, edit them yourself and stuff like that. But, like, you know what I mean? There's nothing stopping anyone from just taking a screenshot or saving the images that I post on like Twitter if they wanted to have my graphics kind of handy in just pure graphic format rather than the spreadsheet itself. Scott says, Dan, on Stick to FPL, you said we wouldn't know in Game Week 30 who would double in 36, but the graphic says we do. Oh, did I say that? No, yeah, okay, well, if I did say that, I was completely wrong. Yeah, we will know in Game Week 30 who blanks in 34. And by that point, I would imagine the Game Week 33 double game week would have been announced as well. Did I say that I do? I thought I said we wouldn't know who doubles in 36, not who would blank in 34. Because we were talking about playing a wild card in Game Week 30 with a bench boost in 36. And I was kind of saying there's a big gap between 30 and 36. Would we know who doubled? I guess we would, though, wouldn't we? Yeah, because we would, wouldn't we? Would we know? I need to look at my own graphics here. So we'd know who's going to the semi-finals and therefore who would blank there and therefore who would move to 36. So yeah, we would know. Maybe I was just wrong. I was just wrong, apparently. Yeah, I think that's one of the problems. I should have had this graphic to hand when this is why this graphic is so super useful. But I should have had it to hand when I was recording Stick to FPL, because then I would have been able to get that right. But yeah, you're totally right. We won't know for 100% sure because odd things do change, and there's always the chance fixtures get moved into 33. Like doubles could be moved into 33 potentially. So we won't know 100% for sure, but we'll have a really, really good idea. Enough of a good idea to make decisions. Of course, a lot can change in well, over a month. So, well, not over a month, about a month. It's barely over a month. So, I still don't know if I'd be super confident wildcarding. Well, things would go wrong, wouldn't they? Things would definitely go wrong. And you would have to have one eye on 33 and one eye on 36. It's certainly possible. I definitely think it's one of my favourite strategies to wildcard in Game Week 30. It's definitely one of my favourite strategies. And I still might do it, to be fair. But I'm hoping to wildcard in 35. Because I think that'll make things slightly better if everything else goes to plan. But we'll see. But this is why there's so many moving parts and why I'm really having to wait until Game Week 25 before really outlining chip strategy. And the reason is because there could be that a lot of the teams who double in 33 also double in 36. And if that's the case, Game Week 30 wildcard becomes so much more powerful because you can get your players ready to double in 33 who will also double in 36. Could be huge, genuinely. Like, I can see Liverpool doubling in both game weeks. Newcastle have a good chance of doubling in both game weeks. Who else is still in the FA Cup? Crystal Palace are still in. They could do a double-double. Aston Villa are still in. Could they do a double-double? Definitely possible. Definitely possible. Right, Del Schaefer says, should I use one of my free transfers for Raya to Alisson? Like, if you want to, I quite like that move, which is why I did it. So I quite like that move. I don't think it's essential. Some people prefer Gakpo. Some people prefer maybe Van Dijk, potentially. So I think it largely depends on your squad structure and who you're willing to sell. Like, if you have a forward that's stinking out the gaff, you might want to sell that forward and get Jackson. Like, get Jackson out, for example, or Joao Pedro out. So I don't think Raya is a must sell this week or anything like that. So it's going to come down to which player do you prefer? Do you prefer Alisson or Gakpo or someone else? And also, who do you have in your team that you don't like? I don't think you should dislike Raya in particular. But there's a lot of moving parts to this one. I've gone for Alisson. I don't think that's going to be a move for everyone, but I wouldn't recommend against that move. I think it's fine as long as you're happy with the rest of your team and it serves a longer strategy. Sophie with a super chat here as well says, out of these three players, which two would you bench? Robinson, Hall, Murillo. I would bench. I definitely wouldn't bench Hall. I think I'd play Robinson and Hall and bench Murillo. Oh, I have to bench 2. Okay, in that case, I bench Robinson and Murillo and play Hall. There you go, Sophie. Hope that helps. Right. Dylan says, hey, Dan, I haven't used my triple captain yet. Where would you suggest it with the current fixtures? I would suggest using it next game week 24 on Salah. Wesley says, any Liverpool news? We're a little early for team news, to be honest, my friend. A little early for leaks. I don't expect any leaks for another 45 minutes, really. Hi, Dan. Do you have any info about Robertson and Tsimikas minutes? No. I don't know. I wonder if we might get some leaks on Liverpool later on. Like I said, in around 45 minutes, I think we'll start to see some leaks coming in. But it's a chaotic one there. I think, honestly, if I had Robertson or Tsimikas, I would be looking to maybe sell for the double game week at least. And maybe go for like a Van Dijk or a Konate. What else we got here? Pedro to Wissa or Verbruggen to Alisson. What are Brighton's fixtures like generally for the long term? So Everton's fine. Forest is not great. Got Southampton there. Yeah, they're not great generally, but this week is fine. I don't think you need to sell. And by the way, Brighton are putting up some good defensive numbers recently. They've really improved. So I don't think I would do that Matt Alisson move this week. I don't think I would. Pedro to Wissa I like generally, but I don't think that's essential against Crystal Palace away. I don't think that's a great fixture. Another team. I'll just put it on screen. Another team that's improving on the defensive numbers is indeed. Let's go last 10 games. Is indeed Crystal Palace. So let's have a look at the table here. So let's go expected goals conceded per appearance. So Arsenal in top, Liverpool close second. Then we've got Newcastle, Crystal Palace and Brighton. So we see Crystal Palace and Brighton in both in the top 5 defences. So I don't think Brentford players are essential this game week, just as much as I, wouldn't really be looking to sell Verbruggen this week. Good fixture for Brighton and, a defence that is starting to click a little bit. These are very, very similar numbers to Forest and Bournemouth and even Fulham. And most people would consider these good defences. If you had sells right now, like Verbruggen genuinely could be better than sells this game week. Genuinely. So I don't know if I'll do it this week. Gertzy says, sorry if you answered the question. My phone died. Diaz, Gakpo or Alisson. It's a personal choice, man. They're all good. I think Luis Diaz has the highest upside, but it's the most minutes risk. Alisson is the safest for minutes, but has the lowest upside. And Gakpo is somewhat balanced. A balanced pick. So I would personally be making a decision on who you want to sell rather than who you want to buy. I think that's a good way of splitting it and answering that question for everyone individually. Because everyone's, we're all going to have the same... We're going to have the same questions, but we're all going to have very different answers that are right for us. I don't think there's one best pick. And if you ask different FPL content creators, they'll probably all give you a different answer. So I think the balanced thing to say is they're all good. Pick one that works for your team. Shane says, would you play Cunha or Rodgers this week? I think I play Rodgers ahead of Cunha this week. When is Pope due back from injury? He's been back in training. He could make the bench today. I don't know if he will make the bench today or not, but he certainly could make the bench today. So I expect to see him back game week 24, 25. After game week 25, fixtures are a little congested. I mean, he's 100% backed by Gameweek 28, you would have thought. But soon is the answer, I would say. Hi, Dan. Would you play Joao Pedro over Ismail Assar? That's a tight one, isn't it? I think the penalty factor comes into play there. It's really tight. I don't know, man. I think it's time for the bench list, isn't it? I think it's time to bust out the bench list. All right, let me set it up. Okay. Bench list, bench list, bench list. Nearly there, guys. In fact, you guys may as well start suggesting some bench list players already, because we're done. So, who are you thinking about benching this week? So, specifically players you are thinking about benching this week. I don't want to see Isak. I don't want to see Salah. I don't really want to see Gordon. Although some people are selling Gordon, which I find one of the most baffling things. There was a guy earlier who said, should I bench Salah? So, you know, maybe no one's safe from a bench dilemma. But there we go. Let's... Has that... Have I ruined things? Has everything just moved? It has, hasn't it? Let's bring you back. Right, there's a lot of suggestions. So let's go Enzo's first name I saw here. Nicholas Jackson. Rogers I put ahead of him. I'm going to put Ismail Assar here. Joao Pedro. I think I'm going to put him here. I'm not totally convinced by that one, but I'm going to put him there for now. Chris Wood. I play ahead of Sarr, but not ahead of Rogers. Amad Diallo would go here. Love Langer as well. I don't think I play a Langer. Clivert. Can't believe people bought Clivert, man. Clivert can go down here. I'm sorry, you bought a stinker. Semenyo. There. I think I genuinely play Jackson ahead of Clivert. There's the penalty factor though. Nah, I'm happy. Right. Wissa. And then we'll add some defenders after that. Wissa can go here. Yeah, I'm going to put Wissa there. Bruno Fernandes. You're not going to bench any player who's above 8 million. Any player that costs 8 million or more, you're not going to bench them ever. I don't think. Thankfully, Jackson's dropped to 7.9, so we can bench him. Palmer, man. Like, I honestly, Palmer is like firmly like... Palmer is here. Like, he should not be a bench consideration at all. Not even close. But anyway, let's add some defenders. Happy Saturday here for FPL. Nice to see you, man. Shangato says, hi, Dan. 2 questions. Choose one. Hall, Hoysens, Housen, and... Wait, what? I'm so confused. Choose one out of Hall. I'll choose Hall. And then choose one out of Murphy, Joao Pedro, and Calvert-Lewin. I only need to pick 2 out of those. I pick Jacob Murphy and Calvert-Lewin. Right, let's add some defenders. So I'm actually going to put Gabriel pretty high on this list. I don't usually put defenders this high. Gabriel, but I'm going to put Gabriel up there. Then we're going to get to players like Munoz and I think Hall would be high as well. I'm going to put Hall up here. Robinson. I'm going to put in a similar area to Munoz. It's tight. I might go for Robinson ahead of Munoz. Wow, Munoz is so low. It's not so low. I've only just started the bench list. There's going to be loads of players that are going to be lower, I'm sure. For example, Aino's going to be lower. Kirkes is going to be lower. Obviously, I'm just going to put other Nottingham Forest defenders here. Hopefully you get the gist. Because people are going to be like, what about Murillo? What about Milenkovic? What about Williams? We can't put them all on the list, man. They're pretty much the same player in terms of FPL output. Basically the same player. But they'd all go low. Howson's would go below all of them. Matt says Gabriel to Trent. No. Remove Diaz for other Liverpool players. No. No to both of those, Matt. No to both. Timber. All right, Timber's not going to go as high as Gabriel because I think there is a gulf between their attacking potential. But I will still look to play Timber ahead of a lot of other defenders. Flecken and Verbruggen. Easy. Raul Jimenez, good shout. He should be here. He should be here. Gonna go below Wood. Maybe somewhere here. Somewhere towards the top. Penalty takers help. Let's throw him below Wood. What are your thoughts on Everton defenders this week? I'm not massively keen on them. I think there's a lot of better options this week, but if you have them, you have them. And by the way, Everton are dropping off defensively since David Moyes came in. So I think the appeal of Everton defenders is weakening for me. So much so that I would put like a Mikalenko. I'm going to put him above Enzo. But it would be pretty low on like the list here. More people asking about Palmer. This is mad. Does he really need to go on here? And Burmo you play. Palmer you play. These are two players who shouldn't really be on the bench list, but I am a bottle job and I'm bottling it to you guys. Can you put Kai Havertz on the bench list? No, because I can't just put everyone on here. Unfortunately, it's going to be too full. So I have to stick with popular players. But he would go like probably around Rodgers and Wissa. He would be towards the top for sure. So let's stick with the popular picks. A lot of people do have Castagna. I'm going to put him down here. All right, Henderson, who plays against Brentford, and go there. And by the way, let's throw some other goalkeepers on here because we always have plenty of room on the goalkeeper section. So we've got Alisson here and Raya here, for example. I think you put Sanchez here. No, actually, that's a lie. You put Sanchez. No, that's a lie too. Sanchez is at the bottom. Let's be real. Against City away. Right. Sells is another goalkeeper. Let's go here. Fabianski. I'd maybe play Fabianski ahead of Sanchez this week. And Kepa Arrizabalaga. That's going to go here. I think. Could maybe drop him down one more. But yeah, somewhere in the middle here. Right. Watkins. A lot of people have said Watkins. I would just play Watkins and hope for the best. But I don't think you're guaranteed a start from Watkins. But I think if you have Watkins, the upside there against Aston Villa, against West Ham, is certainly there. So I think you have to play Watkins if you have him. But he is, without doubt, rotation risk. And I would be very, very worried. Dusty says, love the channel, Dan. Surprised to see Rodgers so high on the bench list. 5 returns in his last 5 games, man. Gotta be said. Only blanked in during that period against Arsenal away and Newcastle away. Anyway, you would choose. Who would you choose between Rodgers, Sarr, and Semenyo? Rodgers, easy. Rodgers, man. Rodgers is for this game week a better pick than Sarr and Semenyo, in my opinion. How can we play Nottingham Forest defence over Castagna? Because I think Nottingham Forest have a knack of getting clean sheets. And I consider their chances of clean sheet higher than Castagna against Man United. I think Forest have a better chance of a clean sheet. I think it comes down to that, really. Clean sheet odds. Gravenberch, what do you think of him? Don't even bother. Not worth it. Not worth it. What to do with Digne? I think you keep him this week and roll the dice against West Ham. Play Wood or Ahmad. Both of those players are on the bench list, my friend. How can Robinson be higher than Munoz? Well, why shouldn't he be? I mean, there's only one place difference. Robinson has proven time and time again he's an attacking return machine. And I think actually Brentford are probably about as good of an attack as Man United are. So it's similar. But yeah, I think I slightly back Robinson over Munoz, but there's not much in it. If you like, this is just my opinion. Remember, this is just my opinion. Cody Gakpo. People bought in Cody Gakpo for this week and now thinking about benching him. Crazy, crazy. Right, is there any other like actually popular, super popular picks that are genuine bench considerations that are missing from this list that a lot of people have? And I want to see your 1% differentials, guys. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that you have those differentials. I love that from you. But like, Mittelmart is not going in. Martinelli's not going in. Welbeck's not going in. Rico Lewis is not going in. Who owns Rico Lewis in 2025? Apparently you do, Elliot, but like not many people do. Ahmad's already on there. Cody Gakpo is not a bench consideration. I don't think Mateta is either, but people are thinking about benching Palmer, so shows how much I know. Mateta. Let's just throw him in. Lifestyle Tube says Darwin Nunez. He's not going on the bench list, and do not buy him unless you love pain. I don't think Darwin starts this week personally. Let's see what we get for team news, but I didn't ask for differentials. I asked for not differentials. I want the non-differentials. Throwing Kluivert. Kluivert's already on there. By the way, guys, have you seen that like Clivert's on like 600,000 transfers in this week. That is madness. Throw Murphy. All right, okay. A lot of people are saying Jacob Murphy, so I mean, I think generally you don't bench your Newcastle players against Southampton. You just don't, do you? So he's going to be super high. Just checking through the chat. Jackson's already on there. Would I play Jacob Murphy over Rodgers? It's a good point. I don't know if I would. Or would I? You know what? I think it's Southampton, man. That is such a good fixture. It is such a good fixture. Like, you back, like, a defensive midfielder against Southampton to get some points, don't you? Pickford. All right, good shout, actually, on the goalkeepers. Pickford can go... Maybe here, you know. Because he'll make saves in that game. I mean, he'd go above, like, Fleck and Fabianski Sanchez for sure. I think this middle area is a little tougher. But hopefully most people don't have 2 of these 4 goalkeepers. Vandenberg. Finally, a player to go below Enzo. Start Henderson or Sells. Both of those players are on the bench list, I believe. Oh, wow. You do have both Henderson and Sells. Wow. Okay. I would play Sells. But it is tight. Eze, okay. I can understand Eze a little bit more. He's in pretty decent form right now, so he's going to go below Rodgers, but he's not far off. Freddie says, do you trust Fantasy Football Hub to solve benching headaches? Sometimes, genuinely, yeah. Sometimes. But usually I have a pretty good idea of who I want to bench already. But if I have a real dilemma, like it's so tight, sometimes I will just like default to predicted points. Because it's stats based, isn't it? Chris really wants Cunha on the list, so I'm going to put Cunha on. Would Martinelli be higher or lower than Sarr? Higher. He would be higher. Cunha. Pretty low, right? I play Jackson ahead of Cunha. I possibly even play Cliver ahead of Cunha, you know. Was that pushing it? That's too far. Cunha can go here. And we're not going to do too many more players because the text is getting smaller and smaller with each passing moment. Dina, a lot of people have asked for. I think you just got to play him and hope for the best. I'm going to put him here. Oh man, the text is so small. Oh. And the bench is so small. Matt Stillwell in the chat says, how about Bruno on the bench list? Nah, I don't think so. I think Bruno is similar to Palmer and Mateta. It's like, realistically, you're never going to bench these players. Erdegaard would be, I think, somewhere around Wissa on this bench list. Will you please post Liverpool team news on socials when it comes out? I'll be streaming, man, so it's difficult. It's difficult. But I'll tell you guys live on the chat here when we get Liverpool team news. If we get Liverpool team news, because it's not a guarantee. We don't know for sure. That said, deadline's in 45 minutes, so I think, you know, next half an hour, maybe. Marmouche for the bench list. Finally, another player below Enzo. for the memes. Fine, I'll put Erdegaard in because a lot of people have asked, but he would go somewhere here. Oh my word. Look at the size of this text, man. Like, nobody can even read this anymore. This is what happens when we put too many players on the bench list. It becomes pointless. The whole bench list may as well be deleted because no one can read it. Right, Mamouche, you can come off. I think, honestly, I hate that Palmer is on this list. I hate that Palmer is on this list. Someone in the chat just suggested Gordon. No, no more. I have to. I'm so sorry, guys. I have to say no at some point. I have to say no because the whole bench list falls apart when nobody can read the text anymore because it's too small. The whole bench list falls apart. So I'm sorry to the 3 people in the world that own, I don't know, Armando Broja. I'm sorry for the Simicast owners. And I'm sorry for the people who can't decide whether they should bench Palmer or Isak this week. I mean, to be fair, if you can't decide, like, respectfully, if you're thinking about benching like Salah or Isak, then let's be real, you don't deserve the points. You put Aina and Nottingham Forest defenders, yeah, because I consider Aina slightly above them, but I guess it's kind of redundant if they're next to each other anyway. Take Palmer off the list for the love of God. Oh, man, I know, man. I know. But people, if I take Palmer off the list, all that will happen is people in the chat will start saying, oh, do you think I should bench Palmer against Man City? And I've had a look at the fixture and it's a big scary red colour. And that big scary red colour is actually really scaring me. I hate it when my players are playing against big scary red fixtures. So I don't want to do it. And I have to say, yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. Sometimes fixtures are red, but when we actually look at real life football, you know, Man City might be red on the FPL website, but it's quite deceiving. Man City actually do concede quite a lot of goals. They've just conceded 4 in the Champions League, which is a different competition from the Premier League, I know, but it's all, you know, transferable stuff. And we have to have this whole back and forth. It's easy to just put Palmer on the bench list at that point, isn't it? Nicole says, Dan, I bench Palmer. There we go. My midfielders and forwards have easier games. You do you, man. You do you. Do they have easier games? Like, how far do you take it? Like, Bruno Guimaraes has a much easier game than Palmer, but every game is easier when you are Cole Palmer. Like, every game's easier, if that makes sense. When you are a fantastic football player, every game is easy. When you're on penalties and set pieces, every game is easy. When Man City have just conceded 4 goals and are conceding plenty of goals in the Premier League as well, that is an easy fixture. So, big scary red, I think, is very deceptive. But people are deceived by it, as we've seen continuously today in the stream. Which, like, I don't know, it's frustrating because I really don't like. I don't know. I feel bad repeating myself because I think it's boring. But also, I think people maybe enjoy seeing me have a bit of a meltdown, to be fair, as well. But, like, you don't bench Palmer ever. You don't bench Salah ever. Like, the best players in the world will score against any team in the world. And we've seen this time and time and time again. Plus 2 Cubers just said in the chat, no Diaz. They could be playing with their new Uzbekistani centre back, who's only about 20 years old, who's literally arrived at the club 3 days ago, and he's got to defend against Palmer. Like, come on, man. Like, we've got to look at all of the factors here, other than just scary red colour on FPL website. Gotta look at more than that, man. But there we go. I'll stop having a meltdown now. Because I will start crying in a minute. AE says, Ahmad or Pedro, they're too close, can't choose. They are close. I agree they are close. I think I would lean Ahmad, though. I would lean towards Ahmad. Damien says, who's the best long-term option, Pickford or Sells? I'd probably say Sells is the better long-term option. Kusanov is a left-back. And yet we might see him play as a centre-back. Because that's how dire the defensive situation is for Man City right now. Kusanov is not a left-back anyway, is he? He could play... He could play both. I thought it was a centre-back primarily, though. Let's see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to have seen him play at full-back. Young centre-backs often do play games at full-back, but I thought he was a centre-back. But I will verify on transfer marks because I don't want to claim to know everything. Who to start, Wissa or Raul? I think both players are on the bench list, so hopefully that's going to help you out there. Just quickly, let's have a look here. He hasn't played a single game at left back this season. What about last? Nope. Season before that? I'm starting to get the idea that he is not a left back at all. And maybe the person in chat was maybe just wrong. I think that might be what's just happened there. Anyway. He's a centre back. Right. Who to start, Whistle or Raul? I answered that. That's already in the bench list. Gay, play or bench? Depends who you can play instead of him. Alisson's on the bench list as well there. If you're thinking about buying him, I support you. It's something that I did myself. Wissa and Mbermo, is the double up worth it? I mean, like, genuinely, potentially. Genuinely, potentially. It's a little risky, but individually, both players are nice. So I don't mind it, man. Max the Champ says, could you shout out Trevor, please? We love your content. Shout out Trevor. Shout out Trevor. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Dan, what about Nori or Ina? What to play? You play Ina ahead of Nori this week, I think. Like Nori against Arsenal, like surely not. I know you put Wood over Raul, but I'm still torn on who to start. If you genuinely prefer Raul, then you got to go with your gut. You got to go with your gut. Shepsy's in the chat. 47 months. I'm guessing you're trying to see if there's a new badge next to your name or not, Callum. There you go. Get that 4-year badge done, player. Yeah. I really do need to make that 4-year member badge. I just don't know what to make the badge look like. I open up my image editing software and I think, what could I make as a 4-year members badge? What can I change? What can I add? And then I just give up because I can't decide. It will happen at some point. I mean, actually, technically, when did I upload the first video on FPL Mate? I think the channel is coming up to its 5-year birthday. I probably made the channel earlier than that, but just to get the username. But first ever video. Does it say the date? Where's the date? 30th of January 2020. That's crazy, man. Almost 5 years since the first ever FPL Mate video. How about that? How about that? Time flies when you're having fun. It sure does. Right, bench list. Should I buy Gakpo or Mateta? I'd definitely buy Gakpo ahead of Mateta this week if I was looking for a new forward. Wissa or Mateta long term? Close. I think I prefer Wissa because he's cheaper. I think that would be the defining factor for me there. Jackson to Gakpo or bench Jackson and play Sarr and roll. Buy Gakpo. Why not? Why not? Early team news. Yeah, I should probably start checking for early team news to see if we've got anything. I can't see anything. No early team news yet, but there's still time. We're still a little early. On Burmo or Gordon for the long term? On Burmo, I think. What Liverpool players would you prioritise getting in? Number 1 is Salah, without a shadow of a doubt. Number 2 is Trent, without a shadow of a doubt. Salah, Trent. After that, like, there's a big gap. We'll put a little gap in this finger here. Look like I'm rocking on. Salah. In fact, we can make a big gap. Salah, Trent, and then all the way over here, you have like Alisson and Gakpo around the same. Then after that, you maybe put Diaz and Van Dijk and Konate in a similar category. And after that, we can talk about McAllister, and then way down the line, we're talking like Gravenberch, who I would not buy at all. Any Arsenal players on your radar? Not right now, no. Other than Gabriel, who I like for the next 4 game weeks. In isolation, would you do Gabriel to Trent this week? In isolation, I think their points potential is similar. And for that reason, I'd probably edge towards not making the move. So I don't think I would, no. Brucey says, love the new predicted lineup video. Good to hear. Yeah, thank you for watching it. Should I start Milenkovic or Munoz? I believe that is covered in the bench list. A lot of your questions, guys, by the way. I know I can see a lot of, should I bench this player or that player? A lot of these questions are answered in the bench list, man. A lot of them are answered already on screen for you guys. That's why we do it. That's why we do it. Aaron says, any chance you could do some draft league content? I would love to, because I do play draft fantasy, but it's so difficult because every person's draft league and team is so different. It's difficult to give rounded advice. I mean, really, you're looking for differentials, right? I'm hoping that my Friday video might be useful for draft players, because we can start to identify some players who are starting, particularly attacking players, for teams that aren't always on the FPL radar. Van Hecker on the bench list. I'm not adding many more players now. I really can't add any more players because the text is just going to get too small. I think we have to call it on the bench list, unfortunately. But I can tell you where I would put Van Hecker. And I would put him maybe around the Nottingham Forest defenders, I think. I think that's what I'd do. Dan, Amad or Savinho long term? Amad. Yeah, I don't think Savinho is ever a long term option. I don't, he's never guaranteed to start. I don't think he's even guaranteed to start right now. My head says, hey Dan, play 5 midfielders and 2 strikers and bench Wood. Yeah, possibly. It depends who your 5 midfielders are, but if you've got a lot of midfielders who are high up on this bench list, above Wood, then yeah, sure. For sure. Best Everton attacker? I guess it would be Ndiaye or Calvert-Lewin, but that doesn't really give us much. Yeah, I don't know if I'm super keen on him, to be fair. Yeah, again, lots of questions that you guys are answering in the chat are already answered on the bench list, my friends. Can we take some transfer related questions maybe? Wello says, good night, Dan. It's 12 a.m. in Oz. Gonna get 2 hours sleep before the games. Yeah, fair enough, man. That is commitment, has to be said. At least you can watch the games on television. They're not even available in the UK to watch on TV, which is unfortunate. Wood or Gakpo? If I'm buying a player, I'm buying Gakpo. Am I light bugging out, or am I bugging out? Why did I stare directly into a light? It's a stupid idea. Right. Give me 3 defenders to buy, please, Dan. I can't afford Trent. I would say find a way to afford Trent, but if you really can't, I guess Konate is a good option. Mikalenko, maybe. I don't know. I don't know who else. It's probably not a great week to be buying defenders. Like, if you can wait a couple of weeks, then Kirkes becomes a real nice option. Should I get Madison or Mbermo? I would definitely get Mbermo over Madison. We'll use the assistant manager chip next week on slot. I won't, no. I won't. I'm saving that for game week 31 to 33, I think. Foden to Mbermo? Not this week, no. Wait 1 more week, and then I would do Foden to Mbermo. Still waiting for Liverpool news, by the way, guys. As soon as I get it, you'll know. Castagna and Mateta or Konate and Wood this week? I guess Konate and Wood. I guess. Got 2 frees. Wood to Gakpo. Not super keen. Best defender to transfer, 4.9 million or less. If I had to buy one this week, it would probably be Mikalenko, but I'm not super keen on that. Like, it's okay. Should I buy Omar Marmoush? No. Not in my opinion. Again, I need to put like a big... I need to put some text on screen. Because I can't keep repeating myself, surely. Your bench-related question is probably answered on screen. I mean, what more can I do? In fact, yeah, I mean, the whole thing is on the screen anyway. So I don't know how this is going to help. Maybe I'll put it in front of my face. That sounds like a great idea. Let's select the font as well. Let's find a better font. Oh, that's beautiful. Actually, let's just make it cover the whole screen. There we go. And let's make it red. I don't even know how to do that. There we go. The bench list is here to help you. It is here to help you. So let it help you. Or we're gonna have all kinds of... I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose if you can't actually see the screen, but you get the point. You get the point. See, again, like, it's crazy. Every time I look at the chat, there's 3 more questions about who to bench. Like, I mean, I try so hard, man, to try and help you guys out with these graphics. Use them, man. It means that all of your questions can be answered, and everything is amazing. You aren't enjoying yourself today. It's not that I'm not enjoying myself. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like I'm just repeating the same things over and over again, which is like, it's bad content, man. I'm so conscious about trying to make sure we've got good content. And I do have a headache. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just grumpy. Maybe I've woken up in a grumpy mood today. Maybe it's the 2-hour streams as well. Because you do end up going in circles in the 2-hour streams. What's wrong with me? Am I stressed? Maybe I need some Zen time. I need to calm down. Dan, calm down. Stop thinking about bench plays. Stop thinking about it. Think purely of non-bench things. Think happy thoughts, Daniel. Happy thoughts. Okay, Coutinho's got a question. I hope it's not bench related. Please answer my question. What should I do if I have used my free hit and still have a wild card ahead of game week 29 and 34? Well, my friend, I think you're going to have to use it in game week. Well, that's actually pretty tough. All right, let me figure out a plan for those who have already used their free hit, because you have backed yourself into a bit of a corner, but I think we can try and get you out of it. So we need to look at my fixtures. This is annoying me that it's not blue. Let's see. So you got to deal with 29 and 34, but also maximize on 33 and 36. How would you do that? With great difficulty. You're going to have to roll a lot of transfers. And we're probably looking at... Oh, you're going to take a big L in 34. I think you're going to have to take a big L in 34. I think that's the only way I can think of. Maybe if you're committing to a big L in 34, maybe you just try and find some kind of balance and wildcard in 35. Then at least you can maybe get some players for blank game week 34 and then wildcard out of it in game week 35 to get a bench boost going in 36. But you're going to be sacrificing a lot of the big players as a result of that, because the big players will be blanking in 34. It's really tough. If you've used your free hit, that makes things really difficult. You're basically going to have to commit to having a... Well, basically pray that game week 29 and game week 34 are super low scoring. And we have seen that happen before. And, you know, even if you just play with like 5 players in game week 34, I think maybe that's the play. So let's say play for game week 29. So get rid of the players blanking in game week 29 when we find out. Wildcard in 30. Try and save as much transfers as possible. Try not to use them even in blank game week 34. Try and get like 5 or 6 players out in game week 34. If you can get 7 or 8, that's plenty good enough. And then still then use your transfers to try and maximize and bench boost in 36. Although bench boost 33 might have to be the play. In fact, it probably is. So yeah, if you have no free hit, I would probably wildcard in game week 30, bench boost in 33. That way you only need to get 11 double game week players out in game week 36, which I think will be easier if you can't free hit in 34. There we go. Solved. Problem solved. Problem solved. Andrea says bench Luis Diaz, Wood or Rodgers. It is a super chat, so we do have to answer it. And technically, I did remove the bench list from the screen, so I will allow you this one. And also, Luis Diaz is not on the bench list. So let's see here. I would bench Wood. I'd bench Wood. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. And if you have any other bench-related questions, please refer to the graphic on screen. We're just here to help you guys out. Got your back. transfer in Trent for Kirkes or Aina? I genuinely think Aina. And the reason is you free up a lot of budget, but also Kirkes has some nice fixtures coming up. Really nice. In fact, I think people should be thinking about buying Kirkes soon, man. Like after game week 24, Southampton, Wolves, Brighton, Spurs, Brentford, Ipswich, West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Man United. They've played all their worst fixtures really after game week 24. It's only really Arsenal away, Man City away that are like troublesome fixtures. There's other ones in there that aren't perfect. Aston Villa, Spurs. But, you know, Kirk has already returned against Spurs. Got a clean sheet there. So I really like Kirkes from game week 25 onwards. Really like him. I think he will become a very popular FPL asset. So if you have him in your team, I wouldn't sell him. I'd be holding on to him. He's sitting there on my bench right now, ready to launch into my starting 11, and I really look forward to it. Really look forward to playing Kirkes regularly. Paredes says, moving Joao Pedro to Gakpo leaves me with 0.7 in game week 24 after my moves there, meaning only 0.5 managers with the assistant manager or triple captain in their thoughts. Well, I mean, firstly, I don't really like game week 24 assistant manager. I don't mind it. I don't mind the assistant manager in game week 24, but it's not my preferred route. But also, if you're moving Joao Pedro to Gakpo, I'm assuming you have Salah already. You probably have Trent already as well. You couldn't get a slot anyway because you only allowed 3 Liverpool assets, and slot counts as a Liverpool asset. So you wouldn't even be allowed to have slot. So if you really want to use the assistant manager in game week 24 on Arne Slot, just don't buy Gakpo. Because like I say, you can only have 3 Liverpool players anyway. I think a lot of people will be surprised by that, by the way. We'll get to game week 24. People will be tripled up on Liverpool with, like, in their mind, oh yeah, I've got my Liverpool triple up, let's get Slot as our assistant manager as well, we're going to cook, and then realise that they can't get Slot because they're already tripled up on Liverpool. So yeah, there you go. Something to consider. I guess if you are using your assistant manager in game week 24, the only other option is Moyes, and I'm like, what's the upside there? Really, not very high. If you look through the fixtures, Brighton is this week. Leicester, you wouldn't get table bonus against. Liverpool, you would. Crystal Palace, you wouldn't. Man United, you wouldn't. So you only get table bonus against Liverpool. So you're just essentially using your assistant manager on an okay team playing against other okay teams, which there's not really much benefit there if you don't get any table bonus for it. So overall, I don't like it. I don't like it, Paredes. I really do hope that answers that question, though. I really do. Main man Dan says, Dan, I used my 2 free transfers on bringing in Gakpo and Young. Yeah, you may have been caught in a Young-shaped trap. Yeah. Just stick with it. You just got to stick with it now. Just see it through. You can always sell Young to Kirkes in game week 25. That's probably what I would do in your situation. Sell Young in 25 for Kirkes. Gakpo's fine, though. Gakpo's fine. Thoughts on Foden? Wouldn't buy, wouldn't sell. I would maybe look to sell Foden next week for Mbermo, though. What else we got here? A lot of people saying about Isak being out. I don't know where this has come from. I don't have any sources that I trust have not tweeted about it or mentioned it or sent me any DMs. I don't know. Where's this coming from? Is this a troll tweet? Maybe. Someone maybe put out a troll. I'm looking for it. Yeah, there's no good source. I don't think there's any good source on it. Yeah, can't find a single good source on Isaac, so I would ignore it unless we get anything interesting. With Solanke out, is Kulusevski a good shout? Maybe. I don't know though, because it's not. I don't think Spurs are suddenly going to get better whilst losing their first 11 players. Do you really put Rodgers over Wood on the bench list? I think so, yeah. I think so. Bournemouth are a good side, man. Bournemouth are a good side. Look what Bournemouth did to Alexander Isak last week. Didn't get a sniff. Played him out of the game. And Isak's better than Wood. So it could definitely happen again. I still generally, I think Wood is above a lot of players, but I do prefer Rodgers this week. Can you explain why Murphy is above Wood? I think you just play your Newcastle attackers against Southampton. I think you just do it. And UFC Will is one source. He's not trustworthy, no. He is an absolute grifter. He is not a trustworthy source. He's made stuff up on numerous occasions. He just guesses, and if he gets it wrong, he deletes tweets. Absolute chancer. 30 minutes till deadline. Yeah, surely we can start to see a bit of a trickle of team news now, I hope. Let's see here. I'll just keep refreshing. Should I start Wissa or Foden? Fair enough, Foden's not on this list. I think I would play Foden above Wissa. Is Jackson to Mateta worth it? I don't think I'd make that move personally, no. I think you probably missed the boat on Mateta to a degree, particularly if Mateta ends up blanking in game week 29. This is a good week for Mateta, but after that, the fixtures do get slightly worse. Really confused between Hall and Munoz? Don't be. Play Hall. Don't be confused by that. Is Isak playing? As far as I'm aware, there is no reason for him to not play. Sarr or Calvert-Lewin to start? Should I say Sarr? Yeah, let's say Sarr. Murphy or Archer? Definitely Murphy, man. Wood and Rodgers or Wissa and Mbermo? Wood and Rodgers would leave a lot in the bank, wouldn't it? So that could be useful later down the line. Sell Gordon for Mbermo next week. I think it is a consideration, yeah. I think it's something to consider. But I think really we want verification on whether Newcastle will blank in game week 29 or not. But depending on how much value you have tied up in Gordon, you might want to keep him anyway. Nelso says, hi Dan the man, Ahmad or Sarr to start in my team. Let's have a look at the bench list. I think we have Ahmad and Sarr are next to each other. So it is tight. It is tight. I think I'll say Sarr because of the fixture. But that is a really tight decision, I understand. So still no team news, but we'll keep it. We'll keep looking. Who to replace Ahmad with? I don't think you need to sell Ahmad. There's no real reason to sell Ahmad. Can you show us the clean sheet odds this week? Yes. Yes, I can. I believe that the odds favour Liverpool for clean sheet odds. But let's just verify that. Odds may have shifted somewhat. Okay. There you go. Liverpool, 52% chance of a clean sheet. And in second place, Brighton and Arsenal actually join on 42% chance of a clean sheet. So actually, Brighton a little higher than I was expecting there. They must have been boosted a little bit. Then we've got the likes of Aston Villa and Newcastle with pretty good odds there in the 30s. And after that, a bit of a toss-up between Crystal Palace, Spurs, Fulham, Bournemouth. Forest, though, only 20% chance of a clean sheet there. So, big warning sign for those with Forest defenders. Your clean sheet odds are pretty low. But they are just odds, and they are just predictions, and they are just projections. We don't actually know what's going to happen. And FPL and football and the Premier League often throws up some surprises, so you never know. Right. Bench list back on screen because more bench-related questions seem to be flooding in that I know are answered on the bench list. They are answered. Jackson for Wizard this week. I don't think it's essential to make the move this week. You can if you want to, but... Well, I look pretty stupid. Because apparently... Marmouche is starting today. Wow. That's humbling. Is that reliable? Marmouche starting. I mean, I still would never recommend buying him because the fixtures aren't good enough and there will be rotation there. But rumour has it that Marmouche is starting today. So there you go. That's a bit of team news I was not expecting to see. So presumably, he's playing on the left, Foden on the right. Pep heard what you said, Dan. Yeah, possibility. I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes to see if that's verified, but that looks reasonably reliable. It looks reasonably reliable. That's bad for Savinho for sure. It could potentially be bad for Foden. Maybe Foden gets a rest, but I don't think so. Wow, Show Team Gang are angry. Okay, sorry, Show Team Gang. Do apologise. I'll be a good little boy and show you my team, as is required of me. There you go. Show Team Gang. You've seen my team. Now you can probably... You've been in the stream for 3 seconds. You want to see my team. Now you can leave the stream. Probably without leaving a like as well. That's the standard procedure. If you are part of the Show Team Gang, I mean, at least leave a like on the stream, man. Like, come on. Show Team Gang, you gotta give me that one. Because like, it is a bit rude, like jumping into someone's stream for like the last 5 minutes, spamming Show Team, and then when I show you my team, you just copy it and then just disappear. Gotta be a bit of give and take. A bit of give and take there. Come on, guys. We're all friends. We're all mates. Still no team news, by the way. Nothing interesting I can see. Sid Fisher says Gvardiol and Jackson to Trent and Gakpo for free. Still a good move. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I like that. I like it a lot. Another dub for the Show Team Gang. Yeah, the Show Team Gang are dubs only, I swear. Why not Captain Isak? I just prefer Salah. Higher upside, I think. Home fixture as well. As the leader of the Show Team Gang, I am gladly leaving your like. Thank you, Lux. I appreciate that, man. See, no, the show team gang, there are some good eggs in the show team gang. There are some good eggs. When's the best time to triple captain? Next week. Salah against Bournemouth and Everton. That is, in my opinion, the best week. Is Marmoush starting? Apparently so. Apparently Marmoush is starting. So a big dub for those who actually bought Marmoush in this week. What is the purpose of the show team gang? Some people say so they can copy moves. Some people say so they can be inspired by moves. You'll claim to be the leader of the show team gang. TK says being show team gang is better than not showing up at all. Technically, no. They actually damage. They damage the YouTube channel because they only stay for the stream for a couple of minutes. YouTube's algorithm assumes that your stream is not very interesting because people are coming and then going very quickly. So actually, it's not better than nothing at all. It's worse. But still, the show team gang members are humans too. Is Haaland benched? Surely not. Surely it's not Haaland on the bench. I can't believe we've got no more team leagues, by the way. This is so frustrating. All these teams playing and no team leagues. Want to see the goal scorer odds? Yeah. Here are the projected goal scorers. Salah's top, Isak second. Darwin, and this assumes a start, by the way. So if Darwin doesn't start, his projections are going to go down massively. Haaland, Watkins, Son, Luis Diaz, Gakpo is actually below Luis Diaz and Darwin, interestingly. I think Gakpo has better creative numbers. Raul Jimenez is pretty high up. And we've got like Palmer here, and Jackson's not bad, but he is consistently not bad and still does not deliver. But there you go. There you go anyway. There you go. When you triple captaining, I already did because I didn't see the Liverpool and Everton blank coming, which kind of screwed my plans a little bit. So I already did it. Damien says, it's been too long since you trolled the show team gang. Yeah, because people cried about it and said it was just bad spirit, mean spirited. So I don't like to do it all the time anymore. Okay, so I think Gakpo is starting, which is good news. Would you Gameweek 24 double captain if you could? Triple captain? Yeah, I would. I would. If I had my triple captainship, I would be using it next week on Salah for sure. 100%. Konate starts. I don't know. I don't have anything on Konate. Yeah, disappointing lack of team news, man. Disappointing lack. Unfortunately, but there we go. Just make sure my team is saved. Yeah, seems to be fine. And we're locked. There we have it. Right, I need to wait. If you have any dogs or babies in your house, please cover their ears, because the full-time whistle is about to blow. Sorry, babies. Sorry, dogs. But it's wake-up time because the deadline's passed. Actually, it's go to sleep time because the deadline's passed. But there we go. Another deadline passed. We're going to stick around for 15 minutes because in 15 minutes we will get all of the beautiful, beautiful team news. And that'll be coming Very soon. 5 fixtures, 10 teams. We'll be waiting for that team news and the confirmation. And we'll probably get some leaks between now and then anyway. Confirmed. So there we have it. Joe says, thanks again for the stream, mate. Started with it in the gym and ended it with a good cup of coffee. Nice. You've been through the motions. This has been such a long stream. You've had your whole morning done. Kabalash says 9 are playing for me today. I think I have like a similar. I think I've got 9 as well. 9 plus captain. And then I think it's just is Rogers and Saar who are playing for me tomorrow. Yeah, Saar, Rogers. There you have it. FPL Cayman is slating you differently on stream right now. I don't think I know an FPL Cayman. I don't think I'm familiar. Do I know FPL Cayman? No. Just look some up now. Don't know who it is. So let the people talk. Let the people talk. But FPL Mate goes nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. 5 years of FPL Mate and 5 more to come. Where are you holidaying this summer? Mrs. FPL Mate has got her eyes on Edinburgh and Rome. So, one or both of those. Maybe a little mini weekend break, one in each. Could be pretty nice. Might go in the international break, to be fair, which is coming up, according to my calendar. This is now not just my double game week and blank game week calendar, but as of today, this morning, when I was talking to my darling wife, we were also using this calendar, not just for blanks, not just for doubles, but also for holiday planning, which is crazy. So, yeah, we were looking at our international break, 18th of March to 27th of March. Could we go maybe the little trip to Edinburgh during that week? And then in the summer after the season ends, we can maybe go to Rome. I've never been to Italy before. I'd quite like to see it. I'd quite like to see some of the old stuff. The old stuff. I want to see the Colosseum and any other old stuff they have. Do they have any other good old stuff? Possibly. I'm not massive. I'm not massive on my Rome lore, to be honest. Right, let's end the captain poll, by the way. Italy is full of Italians. Oh, you should have said. Maybe I shouldn't go. Kidding. Who's your game week 23 captain? 85% of people said Salah. 12% of people said Isak. 2% of people said other. So there we go. Salah, by far the most popular captain this week. Now, mate, the real Italy is southern to Rome. I don't know though, man. Like, I do. If you're gonna go to Italy for the first time, I feel like you need to do the touristy stuff first. Like, I don't know. I think you got to see the main bits. I think if you're like into food, like, I know, super controversial to say, but I'm not a foodie at all. I'm pretty relaxed generally when it comes to food. I'll eat pretty much anything as long as it's not too weird. But like, you asked me the difference between like a gourmet burger or a McDonald's burger, I probably couldn't really tell you the difference. So I think going to Italy and like probably trying to experience the food, for example, and I know Italy is huge for their food. Like, I think that the benefits of that will maybe be lost on me a little bit. I think that's maybe more for other people. Go to the Leaning Tower of Peter Crouch. Is that what it's called? Rome is not Italian, just like London is not really British. You get me? That's I hope I don't get you, but no, I think if you're looking for architecture and the main attractions, iconic buildings, iconic places, then what's more British than London? You have Buckingham Palace, you have Big Ben, London Eye, all of these things, the bridges, many bridges, Tower Bridge, London Bridge, these are all iconically British things. So I think I get where you're going with the London is not really British thing, which I don't agree with anyway, but I think depending on what you're looking for, I think London is very, very British. And in the same sense, Rome is very, very iconically Italian. The River Thames is a great example. Yeah, River Thames, very famous river in the world. Spyburn says, if you go to Rome, pay a guide for the Colosseum tour, only €20. Worth it. They'll tell you stuff you'd never know otherwise. Yeah, I think I'd definitely consider it, man. Definitely would consider it. If it's the atmosphere and spirit of the people you're looking for. It's absolutely not. I'm not looking for atmosphere or spirit of the people. No one place has a monopoly on Britishness or Italianness. No, I completely agree. But I think if you're looking for historical significance of a certain country, there are certain cities that stand out more than others. So in the UK, I would certainly say London, Edinburgh, York, Bath. These stand out as culturally and historically significant cities in England if you care about history. And I care more about history and historical culture than I do care about chatting to an Italian bloke or eating a lasagna. But that's just me. Everyone goes on holidays for different reasons. And Hogwarts, as an iconic UK destination. I tell you what, you go to any major UK tourist destination city, or not. You go to any town centre. You go to any town centre in the UK, in a major settlement, there will be Harry Potter shops there. Cambridge is another example. How did I forget Cambridge? I'm literally 20 minutes from Cambridge. Cambridge has like 6 Harry Potter shops. Cambridge has nothing to do with Harry Potter, but people who come to visit this country, like a lot of them, they want the Harry Potter experience because they associate the UK with Harry Potter, which is crazy because when you live in the UK, if you're a UK resident and you think, okay, think of things that are associated with the United Kingdom. I don't think any British person would say Harry Potter. I don't think any British person would say Harry Potter. London was founded by the Romans. It was called Londinium. Yes and no. I believe there was already a settlement there, but it wasn't called Londinium. Chavs come to my head first. Yeah, I kind of get what you mean. Roadmen. First thing when I think of British culture, roadmen. I think of roadmen. Plus 2 Cuba says, same with New Zealand and Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, it's totally the same. If you're from outside of New Zealand and you're thinking, oh, what is something to do with New Zealand? Oh yeah, Lord of the Rings was filmed there. But if you're from New Zealand, you're not thinking about Lord of the Rings on a daily basis. You're thinking about all of the sheep that are around you constantly in your country. How about a football match in your next vacay? Have you ever been to a match outside the UK? I have, yeah. I went to, when I visited Salzburg in Austria. I watched RB Salzburg against Chelsea. Have I watched any other games in other countries? I think I might be the only one. I've visited stadiums, plenty of stadiums in other countries, but not necessarily games. It's difficult though, man, because I usually go on vacation outside of the football season because I have to kind of be fairly present, or during international breaks. So yeah, it's rare that there are football games on whilst I'm out the country, because I've got to kind of be at home when there's football on because I'm making FPL videos. There you go. I love how people are arguing about what is the best place in Britain. Italy, Germany plays 20th of March. I'm not going to Italy for that period. I'll be going to Scotland for that one. You know what? Should we maybe think about going to the Scotland game? Football games. I think I can wangle this one. Oh, they're away. But they're home again against Greece on the 23rd. So when did I say I would go? Ooh. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I think we were planning on going a little bit earlier in the week, which would cover the 20th, but if we postpone, definitely could go to Scotland, Greece. Don't forget to wear your kilt. I don't know if I'd wear a kilt. I feel like it might be cultural appropriation, but I mean, I'm not sure I can get a quick Scotland shirt for the occasion. Get Kieran Tierney on the back. Why not? Why not? Have you ever taken a FPL content-based trip? Not really. Depends what you mean by that. I've never filmed content like outside of either my house or like a hotel I'm staying in. So I've never gone out and about with the intention of creating FPL content. Buy tickets now, then Mrs. doesn't have a choice in the dates you go. Yeah, true. Tom says, realistically, how hard would it be to keep making videos from abroad? I think from a practical standpoint, I have a lot of equipment which all needs to be packed up, shipped off to another place. Then you have the internet issue. Whenever you go stay somewhere else, often the internet is not going to be as good as what you have at home. And I think the third thing that makes it difficult to film content abroad or on holiday is when you are on holiday, you're expected to not be working, and there's constant distractions. Oh, we're going to go to the beach. Oh, we're going to go to this restaurant. Oh, we're going to go and do this. And you kind of got to say, no, I kind of have to stay here and work, which is like not fair on like my wife, for example. She's going to stay in a hotel room and just sit there with me if I'm working. It's not really fair on her. If we're with a bigger group of people, then maybe it works a little easier. And I have done it in the past, but it is harder to work when you're not in your own space as well. I think naturally you are less efficient when it comes to work. So yeah, it's not super practical. I don't mind doing it occasionally. James Bailey says he has a life outside of work. Yeah, barely, man, barely. Although I am actually leaving the house this evening. I'm going out into London tonight, which I hate. I actually hate London, by the way. I think it's the most overrated city in the country. But I am going tonight to meet with some friends. Right, lineups. We're going to need the Premier League, the Fantasy Premier League account to start doing some retweets. If not, I'll have to go manual. We're going manual, boys. We're going manual. Let's do Liverpool first. So, not a single surprise in the Liverpool lineup. Alisson, Van Dijk, Konate, Diaz, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Salah, Gakpo, Robertson, Gravenberch, and Alexander-Arnold. Not a single surprise. What's my favourite city? Incidentally, we are on the page right now. My favourite city I've visited in the UK is Liverpool. That is my fave. Right, let's go from the bottom and work our way up. So we've done Liverpool, Ipswich. Ah, you know what? I think I predicted this reasonably well. No, there are a few changes. Okay, so Jaden Philogene is in. Phillips is back in the starting lineup. Tuanzebe is back. Walton starts again. Everything else is pretty much as expected. For Southampton, we've got McCarthy, Walker-Peters. Okay, so no Sugawara. Ukachukwu comes in instead of Flynn Downs. I did predict. You know what? My predictions so far, pretty good, because I predicted Onuachu would start ahead of Archer this week. And I had predicted Ukachukwu would come in instead of Downs as well. We're nailing this, man. I think the only mistake I maybe made on Southampton's lineup is I put Sugawara instead of Manning. But yeah, pretty good. All right, Newcastle. Any surprises? None. No surprises. Oh wait, no, there is a surprise. I say surprise. Fabian Schär is playing ahead of Botman, so I need to update my sleeper team immediately. I need to update my sleeper team because I do have Botman in my draft team. So let me just sub him out. Yes, by the way, guys, you can make in-play subs on sleeper before players have played. Nottingham Forest sells Murillo, Williams. Okay, so no changes at the back. And yeah, so this is exactly the same as my prediction from yesterday as well. So it's just Jota Silva coming in for Hudson-Odoi. That's the only change. Bournemouth, no change. No changes for Bournemouth. Identical lineup to last game week and to yesterday's predictions. Tavernier is the only major player coming back onto the bench here. So Tavernier back on the bench, but not starting. For Everton, Daniel, you've nailed the Everton lineup as well. I'm like 100% on a lot of these teams for my predictions yesterday. Carly said I should visit Newcastle. I think I agree. I think I should. Blob says, which city are you from? I would say Cambridge. Cambridge is my city. That's where I was born. And so I still live near it. But yeah, nailed Everton. Let's get to some of these other teams. So this one, okay. Gruder past fit. That's a surprise. I thought he might be unavailable. So Gruder's in. Lamptey's playing. So Lamptey's left back, presumably. And Estupinian is not even in the squad. So I wonder if there's an issue there. So no Estupinian. And then for Wolves, Sarsemedo, Doherty, Bueno, Agbadu. Yeah, pretty much as expected. No major surprises. And I've already seen that Saliba's back. So more Arteta nonsense, clearly. Raya, Timbers, Saliba, Gabriel. Lewis Skelly's back as well. Party Rice. Nwaneri's in. Nwaneri in midfield. Wait, where's Odegaard? Whoa. This is interesting. No Odegaard. You know what? I might put Nwaneri in my draft team. Let's see who's available on draft. Because I actually might pick him up. We've got to do this fast. Right. Nwaneri is available. No one's got him in their team. Okay. Guys, draft fantasy. Who would you drop? Who would you sell from your draft team out of Maxence Lacroix or Alejandro Garnacho? Bro, that Arsenal lineup looks mid-table. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't look great, does it? All right, I've got to drop one of. It's got to be one of Garnacho or Lacroix. I think. I'm thinking maybe Lacroix. Like realistically, how many games am I actually going to play? Crystal Palace fixtures. Garnacho, drop Garnacho. Yeah, but what if he stays at Man United or transfers to Chelsea? He could still be a good asset. Crystal Palace, Brentford, Man United, Everton, Fulham, Aston Villa. There are some good fixtures here. Maybe I have to sell Garnacho. Someone's going to pick him back up. I know they are. All right, screw it. Garnacho's going. I've finally dropped Garnacho from my draft team, and I know someone's going to pick him up next week, and I'm going to be super, super disappointed. And he'll start flying, but I think Nwaneri needs to be in my team. As an Arsenal fan, I am the person in the draft league who deserves Ethan Nwaneri, and I'm going to play him. Let me read out my draft team for you guys for this week. You can let me know what you think of it. I think it's pretty decent. In a 10-man, this, by the way, it's in a 10-man draft team. Draft league. So, Savinho, who I might actually have to bench, but we'll find out later. Savinho, Wood, Sarr, Kulusevski, Foden, Trossard, Nwaneri, Tarkowski, Konate, Murillo, and Emi Martinez in goal. Not bad for a 10-man draft. My only issue is whether Savinho plays, but I can bring in Lacroix, who plays tomorrow, if Savinho's not starting. I don't really have any other backup, though, so I'm in big trouble if, like, a few of my players don't start. Very big trouble. But that's fine, we'll deal with it. Righty-ho! I think we can wrap things up there, guys. We've been streaming for 3 hours. Wait, not quite. 2.5 hours. Still a long time. But I appreciate you guys joining me today. Hopefully you did enjoy the stream. I'm going to go get some food and maybe see what football is on. None, technically, but you guys know. So yes, I'm going to go consume some football in some variety. That's all I'll say. And yeah, get some food. So guys, enjoy. Have a great game week. I hope you all have fantastic weeks. I hope you have loads of FPL points. As long as you don't score more than me, then I'm happy as well. But yeah, enjoy, guys. And I'll catch you possibly tomorrow for another stream. Yeah, we'll see. Cool. Guys, take care. See you later, mates. Bye-bye.